Waitrose Duchy Organic Old Ruby Ale.
Life is too short to be drinking shitty beer.
Welcome to another edition of Bands, Bikes and Booze Reviews. I have got one here from Waitrose today. Now before you ask, I am not a posh bastard. I just went in there today to get some of this stuff. This is the Fuller's Vintage Ale. Waitrose is the only place you can get it easily, and I thought I've got to get some of this. I've had these previously in the past, but I've not had the willpower to let them age. You're supposed to let them age for a year or two, or maybe even longer if you want, but I've got absolutely no willpower when it comes to beer. I could be like, oh yeah, you having a drink tonight? Nah, I'll go on it. Oh, all right. Seriously, that's what I'm like. I'm absolutely terrible. Anyway, I picked up some of their other beers that they had available there, and this was one of them. This is their own brand, Old Ruby Ale. They had a couple of others of their own brand, but this one appealed to me most. So I picked it up. I always like to do a bit of research, as I say, before I do these reviews. I don't want to go in there blind. I want to have a bit of knowledge. And it's brewed by Marstons. Well, it's brewed by Wychwood, which is a Marston's brewery. So, technically, it's Marstons. And the Wychwood Brewery, in the grand scheme of things, they do quite a bit of contract brewing. They do the Wychwood range for Lidl. And to be honest, that is slightly better than the other stuff that I've tried from Aldi's, but not a great deal more. And to be honest, when I saw that they were brewing that stuff, I just thought, oh Christ, if this is going to be anything like their supermarket range, then it's going to be a bit crap. But then you think, well, Waitrose, this costs £2.10, but you think Waitrose a little bit more classy. Oh, fucking hell, talk about supermarkets being classy. Fucking hell. But it's one of them beers that I thought I've just got to pick up and try and, see what I can get out of it. Now, Wychwood Brewery are a brewery I really used to like. The stuff they did years ago was really good, but especially the Hobgoblin stuff. Now, that was a really nice, strong, dark, malty beer, but it's just got more and more bland over the years, and people say it hasn't changed. It used to be 5% or 5.3%, I think it was on draft. It's gone down to below 5. I think it's 4.3 or something like that, or around that sort of mark. So when you change the ABV, you're changing the malt bill, and of course, or the grain bill, I should say, not the malt bill, and of course that's going to make it change the recipe. And I just think, well, why do that? And the only thing I can come up with is a cost-cutting exercise. And I don't think there's much of this. You used to get slight citrusy notes in Hobgoblin. You don't get that anymore. And I think that's something to do with them trying to save money on the later stage hopping, if you like, which is, it's quite expensive. The more hops you put in, hops ain't cheap. The more hops you put in, the cost rises. So, yeah, I really haven't got much hope for this. And it's probably just my prejudice against supermarket beers. But Sainsbury's, I think, have got it right. They do a Czech Pilsner, but it's actually brewed by Staropramen, or all the signs pointed to it being brewed by Staropramen. And when I say Staropramen, I don't mean it's brewed over here under licence. It's actually imported from the Czech Republic. And it's a really nice beer. I've reviewed it on the channel. Please check it out. It's a really good beer. And I don't know what's going to happen after January with the importation of beer, with Brexit happening. So, this may be your last chance to get some of that Pilsner. So if you can, stock up on it. It is a real fridge filler, and it's cheap as well. It's about £2 a bottle for 600ml, 650ml I think it is. So that's worth checking out. Anyway, I've talked about everything apart from this beer. But, as you know, Wychwood, they do the Wychwood stuff, they do the Braxbeer stuff as well, and they do their own stuff. to be honest, it's just okay. It's Marstons. It's what Marstons do. They even changed the label, and they come up with some fucking cock and bull story about trying to make it accessible to more people. If people want to drink the beer, they're going to fucking drink the beer. Simplifying the label is not going to make people want to try it, I don't think. Now, don't get me wrong, I am swayed by some labels. If it's like of an interest to me, I'm not superficial that, oh, the label looks nice, this must be a good beer. But some people are, you know, you can talk to fucking marketing bods all day about this, and, you know, I'm with Bill Hicks on this.
If anyone here is in advertising or marketing, kill yourself. Seriously, though, if you are, do. No, really. There's no rationalization for what you do, and you are Satan's little helpers, okay? Kill yourself, seriously. You're the ruiner of all things good. Seriously. No, this is not a joke. He's going to be a joke coming. There's no fucking joke coming. You are Satan's spawn, filling the world with bile and garbage. You are fucked, and you are fucking us. Kill yourself. It's the only way to save your fucking soul. Kill yourself.
So there you go. Wise words. Anyway, enough about that. Let's get this beer open. This is a 5% 500ml bottle of organic old Rubio. Why do they call it old Rubio? It's either Rubio or an old ale. That's a bit of an anomaly there. I don't know why they've done that. For your beer connoisseur, that's a bit confusing. Are you trying to make it a Rubio, or are you trying to make it an old ale? What is old Rubio? I don't know. There you go. That's just me being pedantic as per. This is organic, as they say. And the hops come from somewhere called it's Plumage Archer barley. That's where the malt comes from. I'm not sure. I'm pretty sure they must use it for their other Wychwood stuff as well, and the Braxbeer stuff. So that's where that comes from. And the hops in here, it gives no mention. It really doesn't. This traditional ale was lovingly brewed using barley from selected organic farms, including the Duchy home farm at Highgrove. Yeah, fair enough. Nothing about the hops in here at all. No brew sheet on the website, on the Waitrose website. That's it. There's the label. They've got other beers in their range. I think they do an IPA, and Cap's just plain black. There's fucking dust on it. Jesus. And that's it. So, yeah, not much to see here. Let's get it open. Let's see what's going on. Now, as I say, I haven't got much hope for this. I'm not a fan of the Lidl Hatherwood range that's brewed by them. Braxbeer is just Braxbeer. Not a great one. I haven't reviewed it. I don't see the point, really. It's a bit of a mishmash of nothingness, in my opinion. Or it was last time I tried it. That was on cask or keg, I'm not sure, a while back. I'd just come out of a meeting up in London, a fucking IT meeting, and I needed a beer, and all they had was Braxbeer, so that gave that a go, and that really didn't hit the spot. So I hot-footed it into a pub that had some of the Orkney Island stuff, or Orkney Dark Island, if you like. Yeah, this looks pretty uninspiring. Very big carbonation in that. That's what it looks like. We're getting on the nose. Marstons. We're getting Marstons on the nose. Which is not a lot. The Hobgoblin stuff is the same. And the Braxbeer is the same. Not bottle conditioned. It's filtered. Aroma. It's nothing. There's actually a bit of a nasty whiff on that. It's like a metallic whiff. Christ almighty. You'd think that Waitrose would be a little bit more discerning. They're supposed to be like and they've got quite a good range of Belgian, American, and British beers. But their own brand stuff, you'd think that, as I say, they'd be a bit more discerning. And, well, obviously that doesn't count. It's all about the bean counters, what they can brew for. And if they're selling this for £2.19, There's obviously corners been cut. Nothing at all. Oh well, let's give it a go. Wish me luck. Well, that was a whole lot of fuck all. Let me dive in again. It's more like an amber. Bitter, both in looks and flavour. Now, ruby to me is something dark, more like that colour, a dark brown, dark reddish brown. That just looks like amber to me. I've seen darker bitters. Still no aroma. Really insipid flavours. It's a tiny little bit of caramel, that's toffee malt on the back end, and what appears to be some kind of spicy, earthy hop bitterness. That's really uninspiring, that is. For £2.19, I should have known better, really. But you think Waitrose are, you know, a little bit more, as I say, upmarket. I don't know why I'm doing this. Nah, not impressed. It just lacks any real discernible flavour, in my opinion. Now, maybe I've been spoiled. I tried some really good beers yesterday, and you know, I still got that in my mind. And I suppose, you know, to be fair, you have to take into the equation the price, £2.19. The fact it's a contract brewed beer, that'll be brewed in big batches for the supermarkets, for the Waitroses up and down the country. It's, you know, as I said, when you're up against a contract, you're going to cut corners, and it looks like they've cut out any real discernible flavour in this. Little bits of caramel and toffee malt, and on the finish there's a bitterness, but in fact that's a bit of a fucking rip-off. I've had cheaper beers from Beers of Europe, and they've been much more flavoursome than this. This has put me off buying any more Waitrose own brand, because if it's brewed by the Wychwood lot, then they're obviously cutting corners. I'm not blaming them, they have to. It's a supermarket contract, it's what they do. The margins are slim anyway, and with a supermarket, they want to optimise their profits, and crap like that is the result. So what's the verdict on Waitrose Duchy Organic Old Ruby Ale? Nah, not impressed. It's just got Marstons and contract brewed written all over it. Not much flavour. It's really vague in the malt. aroma and the flavour. There's some little bit of hop earthiness and bitterness on the back, probably Fuggles or something like that, but it's just really uninspiring. It just doesn't do anything for me. Maybe it's me, maybe I've just been spoilt by having some really good beers recently. Just not impressed. It's just not my thing. It's just a Marston's beer. You know, at a push, I'll probably drink this, and I'll do what I'd do with most Marston's beers and just forget about them, because they're instantly forgettable, and so is this. You know, and it can be done. As I mentioned about Sainsbury's, doing it with the Styrofoam Pilsner. A fantastic Pilsner for a really good price, brewed by reputable brewers. But this stuff, nah, no thanks. I will give that a 4 out of 10. Would I recommend it? It's £2.10. It's up to you. Whether you want something that's really low on flavour and aroma, and it's contract brewed by Wychwood, and you're happy to pay £2.10 for it, then fucking fill your fucking Dr. Martens. But I will not be doing it again, and I won't be buying any of the other range. You know, if you're happy to buy Marston's contract brewed beer, go ahead. Make my day. And remember, I'm drinking this shit, so you don't have to.